Abasunkan from the Netherlands. I am a designer and I'm here in Eco Hotel and Suits. Keep watching VOP, the voice of the people. Don't touch that dial.
My name is Dr. Tony Bello. I am the chairman of Shine Bridge Global Incorporated. And guess what? You are watching the Voice of the People television.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People television. Now you have more than a voice.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more, tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to solve the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues, on Voice of the People television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations, but who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People television.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People television.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Hush behind hangar doors. Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
On Edu Dialogue, we bring you fresh ideas and conversations, shaping the future of learning in Nigeria and beyond.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
And welcome to the Midday News and Voice of the People television. I am Chioma Innocent. Before we begin the news, kindly visit our website. It's www.voiceofthepeople.ng. First, the headlines. CDS vows to protect democracy and security. Army rescues 18 from pirates off Cameroon coast. Okpebolo condemns palace attack. Federal government commissions 40 billion naira CCTV hub for third mainland bridge. Atiku demands critics release. Fayose warns ADC risks relevance without Obi. In business, President Tinubu's debt service set to hit 91 trillion naira by 2028. In sports, Super Eagles fly to Rabat for Morocco clash. And in the world of entertainment, Rema bags biggest wins at Afrima 2026. Now the news in detail. The Chief of Defense Staff General Olufemi Oluyede has assured President Bola Tinubu and Nigerians of the armed forces' commitment to defending the country's democracy and ensuring peace and security. In a goodwill message for Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day 2026, he said the military, alongside other security agencies and guided by the lessons of veterans, will tackle challenges to achieve lasting peace. General Oluyede acknowledged the sacrifices of families of fallen heroes, pledging that their legacies will be honored and remembered. He also commended serving soldiers for their professionalism and dedication, saying their welfare remains a top priority. The defense chief reaffirmed that the armed forces will continue to operate with a collective mindset to meet its constitutional duties and uphold national security. In the meantime, the Nigerian Army troops have rescued 18 passengers, including 2 infants, abducted by suspected sea pirates during an attack on a boat traveling from Nigeria to Cameroon. The incident occurred near Kombo 4 fishing port in Cameroon, when pirates in 2 speedboats and a wooden boat hijacked the vessel. Troops responded swiftly, leading to an exchange of fire. During the confrontation, 1 pirate speedboat capsized, forcing the attackers to abandon their captives and flee. All victims were rescued unharmed, and troops continue to patrol the waterways to prevent further attacks. Elsewhere, the police commander in the Federal Capital Territory says it has arrested 3 suspects in connection with the death of a female lawyer, Princess Chigbo, in Abuja. The FCT Police Public Relations Officer, SP Josephine Ade, disclosed this in a statement describing the arrest as a major breakthrough in the fight against violent crime. She said the suspects are alleged members of a notorious one-chance armed robbery syndicate and are linked to the gruesome murder of the lawyer. According to the police, preliminary investigations show the gang has operated in and around the FCT for several years. Elsewhere, Edo State Governor Monday Okpebholo has condemned the attack on the palace of the Onoji of Ekpoma, Zaiki Anthony Abumere, by protesters. A peaceful protest by a resident of Ekpoma over insecurity and rising cases of kidnapping was hijacked by hoodlums who unleashed violence on the community. The attackers chased traders from the livestock market, killed goats, injured cows, and vandalized parts of the Onoji's palace. The protests also led to the blockage of a major highway, disrupting commercial activities. In a statement issued by his chief press secretary, Patrick Ebojele, the governor condemned the attack during a visit to the palace to assess the extent of the damage. He said there was no justification for invading a traditional institution under the guise of protesting insecurity. During the visit, the governor was shown items destroyed in the attack, including vandalized vehicles, damaged canopies, and broken chairs. Governor Okpebholo described the invasion and looting as criminal and unacceptable, warning that those who hijacked the protest would be brought to justice. In this report, the federal government has inaugurated a 40 billion naira closed-circuit television control center for the Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos. Speaking at the inauguration, Works Minister David Umahi said the project followed major rehabilitation works on the bridge after the administration took office in 2023. He explained that the CCTV system, first announced in 2025, is aimed at curbing dangerous driving, preventing suicide attempts, and improving security with personnel monitoring live footage and enforcing speed limits. The Federal Controller of Works in Lagos, Olufemi Dari, described the facility as the first of its kind on any bridge in Nigeria, noting that it allows real-time monitoring of activities on the bridge and surrounding waters. Still in the news, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has called on the federal government to immediately release detained social media critic Abubakar Musa. In a post on X, Atiku condemned what he described as a growing clampdown on dissent under the administration of President Bola Tinubu. He was reacting to a statement by Amnesty International Nigeria, which revealed that Musa was arrested on the evening of January 11, 2026, and later remanded at the Kefi Correctional Center. Atiku described the arrest as another troubling example of what he called the Tinubu administration's suppression of dissent, both online and through public protest. The former vice president added that the case was not isolated, alleging that journalists, entertainers, school children, and National Youth Service Corps members had faced arrest, harassment, or intimidation for criticizing the president or his family. Article 1 that Nigeria could not be regarded as a true democracy if citizens are punished for expressing dissent, particularly as the country approaches another general election cycle. He also called on the international community to intervene, urging global democracy and human rights organizations to hold the Tinubu administration accountable. In politics, former Ekiti State Governor Ayo Fayose has warned that the African Democratic Congress ADC risks political irrelevance if it does not field former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi as its candidate for the 2027 general elections. In a television interview, Fayose described Obi as the party's main political attraction, saying other figures lack the capacity to generate national support. He noted that Obi's influence during the 2023 elections, when his Labour Party candidate helped secure House of Representatives seats despite the party's limited presence. Fayose stressed that Obi's appeal transcends party lines and remains central to ADC's relevance, cautioning that sidelining him could weaken the party's standing in 2027. Still in the news, the Lagos State chapter of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has accused former Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal of being an alarmist for saying Nigeria is in peril and needs urgent salvation. In a statement, APC spokesman Sheye Oladejo called Tambuwal's remarks misplaced moral outrage, noting that he failed to deliver the same salvation when he held office. Oladejo urged Tambuwal and his supporters to rise above political theatre. Well, now joining us virtually for the analysis segment on the Midday News today, we have Sheson Opuade, a public affairs analyst. You're welcome, Sheson. Thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
Hi, good afternoon, and let me say Happy New Year to you and all our viewers.
Happy New Year to you as well, Sheson. Great to have you here.
To be with you this
Thank you. Let's get right into the issues. Is Aminu Tambuwal an alarmist, as the APC is accusing him of being? He's not the only one who has talked about the major issues that are facing the country, from insecurity to the high cost of governance and many other issues that Nigerians talk about every other day. Atiku was also talking about the fact that this administration keeps clamping down on dissent, saying, why would they arrest a social media critic? That is the reason why we have freedom of speech. But there is this joke about there being freedom of speech, but no freedom after speech. How do you weigh in on this situation?
Thank you very much for that question. It's always interesting when you have some of our past leaders who have led us, and when they are out of office, they tend to speak as much as doing better than while they were in office. And I always say this, that majority of them, one way or the other, while they were in office, failed to do what is expected of them, but maybe they see clearer when they are out of office and they are able to correct their colleagues. But one thing is certainly sure, that what is raising is not just of today. It is something that has been, bedeviling us for a very long time, because a lot of our leaders understand what an average Nigerian needs, what they can just take away for the time being, and thereafter everybody goes back without asking questions. More so, a lot of them use the resources that they've gotten from the Nigeria system, even to oppress the citizen. If you ask me, when you give them opportunity once again to do anything, in fact, it will be worse than when they were there the first time, because they were being careful initially when they were there. So, to me, what Tambuwal is saying is not new. We all understand the fact that things are really not going the way it should. But you ask yourself, if we have laid the right foundation for other people to build upon, I don't think we'll be talking about going retrogressively into some of the things we have done. And regarding the issue of freedom of speech, freedom after speech, I'm sure a lot of us understand the fact that that we have that entrenched in the Constitution does not give the freedom to use vote language, even on political offices, or speak certain things that cannot be substantiated. Truth be told, that I've not read the story of the man that was actually picked up, but part of the things we have seen is that people make use of the social media space to actually get things on for their trending capacity, not substantiating some of the things that they actually have. And that's why a lot of us feel that it's part of the problem that we are faced with. Some people knowing certain information, but all in the name of trying to trend, revert the case so that they know that people take more of the other side of the story. The truth is, we all understand the fact that things are not smiling in terms of cost of living, in terms of inflation, and how our political leaders live this affluent life to our face. But not to the extent of actually using derogatory word on leaders, even on the country, because I'm sure if such things are even spoken of on this particular platform as an anchor, you definitely checkmate the activity, because there are rules guiding even the operation of things.
While we're talking about this, we need to make it known, is Nigeria in peril or not? Does Nigeria need urgent salvation or not? You talked about the fact that when people are in office, they do not see the problems they need to solve. But once they're out of office, they begin to nitpick. They begin to look at another administration that has come as if that administration is not doing better than they did. So even if these are not the people who are meant to be speaking because they've been in power and did not effect the required changes, is Nigeria in peril or not? Does it mean, is it really misplaced moral outrage, like the APC is saying?
Yeah, I won't say that we are in peril. Nothing. This is not that the center is really not holding. The politician will come up with a lot of things. I'm sure you know when this administration was coming in, there were a lot of promises that were actually made, which a lot of people questioned that are they able to, would they be able to fulfill some of it? And quite interestingly, this administration is a continuum of the last administration, knowing fully well that they are the same political party. But be that it may, what was their input in the last administration? The same rhetorics that we are a political party of different faction coming on board is what we are hearing with the same political party, you know, castigating the previous administration of the failure they are trying to actually strengthen up. The fact remains that our politicians take advantage of average Nigeria who cannot speak or ask for accountability of some of the things that they are actually doing. And I think it's a fundamental problem that we have. Anyone that is actually placed in place of authority should understand what accountability stands for, and they should understand that their word is their bond. But what we've been saying most of the time is people just give, you know, promises that they know is not achievable, and they come with excuses. Even people that are engaged to serve the government, they come with so much hope, aspiration to actually lift a lot of people. Remember the last administration, they promised to lift a lot of people out of poverty. I'm sure you can answer the question of the people that they are able to lift and people that they are able to plunge back into poverty. Same we are hearing. And for all the politicians, that is always the rhetorics. But you ask yourself, is their own life more meaningful? Is it moving forward? A lot of them come into offices, you know how it was, and what they will become after when they have actually is because of the failure of our system, even to go ahead and check activity for accountability of some of the things they actually give as commitment, even when they are coming to office. I'll give you a typical example. Currently, somebody is saying they are witch hunting Malami, and I asked the Bureau of the ICPC and the agency meant to check the assets of some of these political officers. What is the report as we speak? While they come in, how much do they want? After they left office, how much do they have? How do you link some of the things that are not directly even being owned to them? I imagine myself somebody flying a private jet, all because he has owned a political office, even in the country, just for you, even when you are being accused of affluence and splendid frivolity. These are part of the thing. And you still discover that they will mobilize people to come and welcome them because they have impoverished the people, just give them a little stipend. So it's failure of our system, which a lot of us have actually been speaking to. Well, it is what it is until we come decisively, having a leader that have the intention and the heart of the citizen very close to their own dear hearts.
All right, then let's look at some political matters right now. Former Ekiti State Governor Ayofa Shea is of the opinion that if the African Democratic Congress does not field former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi as its candidate in the 2027 general elections, it risks political irrelevance. They say that Obi is the party's main political attraction, according to Fayose, saying that other figures lack the capacity to generate national support. Rotimi Amechi has said he is not vice president material, he is presidential material. Atiku Abubakar, of course, has been gunning for the position of the #1 man in the country for many years now. Quite a number of people were not really expecting Obi to join the ADC with all this political heavyweight in the party. But you agree with what Fayose is saying. The lingering question that everyone has been trying to answer is, does Obi still have that relevancy pulled in 2023 with the obedient movement going into 2027?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I ask myself, which political party does Ayo Fayoche belong to? Is he now a member of ADC or is in advisory capacity to the party? His advice might be valid, and I believe that the leaders of the party know what they have to work on. But be that it may, you've mentioned some names in ADC. I'm sure the likes of David Mark II is the national chairman, is actually there. And I remember that they said that their ticket is not for sale. It's going to be on merit. First and foremost, the way our politicians move from one party to the other give questions of how they discredit a particular party and later see themselves daring because they know that it's about themselves and themselves, not about the citizen. Because I believe if you look at developed climes, when you adhere to a particular political party, is based on their ideology and what you feel that they can offer. But here we see a lot of people cross-carpeting, all because of relevance and what it is. What Ayo Fayoche has said, I can't validate it. That is actually the best candidate for ADC. Amici is not a small feat. Neither is Abubakar Tiko, who has been pursuing this for years. Is someone that you can actually roll over. If in terms of money, which we know that that's when they want to do their primaries is within them. The Muslims are actually there. They have enough funds to share for people. We saw what happened in 2023. A lot of these people monetize the primaries to have their way out, and those are the people that will determine the candidate, not even with the populace. So if they are able to have their internal agreement on who to represent them, it is when they bring it out for the people to see. But for me, I doubt if the relevance will still be there, knowing fully well how he took his neck to be with the Labour Party when he left PDP. A lot of people are actually looking at it that he should have actually stayed in Labour Party if indeed he feels that the popularity is there. But leaving Labour Party and advancing to ADC, a lot of people are very skeptical that it's not actually what he says it means, and that might not give the much of obedience that we saw behind there, even though they claim that they are not party affiliated. But the fact remains that a lot of people feel that you can't jump from one party to the other and feel you can still get their loyalty. So that's the area where of so much concern. Our political parties lack ideology, and that's why somebody can wake up in the morning to be in a political party, take lunch with some, and they end up with dinner with another within the same day, because there's nothing to check what their activity does. A majority of them, it's not about the citizen, but about what they can make for themselves.
All right, then let's come back to Lagos, where the federal government has inaugurated a 40 billion naira CCTV control center for the Third Mainland Bridge. Now, the Minister of Works, David Umahi, was speaking at the inauguration, said the project is coming after major rehabilitation works on the bridge after the administration took office in 2023. He says the CCTV system, which was first announced last year in 2025, would curb dangerous driving, prevent suicide attempts, and improve security with personnel monitoring live footage and enforcing speed limits. Now, many Nigerians see this as, it's a good initiative, but then we wonder that this is coming after, it's like Nigeria is just catching up after so many other countries have put this in place way before now. Nigeria is just catching up. And also 40 billion naira for this initiative. Is it too much, too small?
I'm not a valuer in terms of the contract valuation. But one thing I can speak to this is a good initiative. But how do we make use of some of the things that we have there? Don't forget that on that particular Third Mainland Bridge, there is a speed limiting device that restricts you of moving 80 kilometer, anything that exceeds it. I've asked how many people have we found culpable and being punished to send a signal. I move on that road and I see the way some people still speed, and I ask, is it that those are people that plow the road regularly? So seems a lot of people have seen that they've deactivated them. It's not about bringing new contract. When you talked about people, committing suicide, jumping into the lagoon, can we address what make them at times to, commit this suicide with the funds? And he's talking about improving their lives. Cost of living, as we speak, is quite unbearable, if you ask me. And a lot of people need government intervention to make things work. So I will continue to say that in as much as it's something that is a good initiative, is it a priority? I will say no, because there are other devices that have actually been inculcated into that particular thing to checkmate the activities of overspeeding on that particular thing, but we've not maximized it. And I think I can use this platform to call on the same Minister of Works. We are looking at Third Mainland Bridge. I don't know if you have visited Lagos Ibadan Expressway. That's a road constructed by the federal government, but there is no illumination on that particular place. And we talked about insecurity. You need to travel that place at night and see how deadly it can be. Fine, smooth road, but can you see further without illuminating? When you illuminate an area, it is security on its own, and that's why we keep asking the question. We know the stress a lot of people went through on that particular road when it was being rehabilitated, and as far as I'm concerned, it's an incomplete project without adding light all the way from Ibadan toll gate, even till you get to Lagos. So rather, those are other things that I feel we need to do. We've light up the Third Mainland Bridge. We have speed limiting device. We can definitely center around security personnel for now and prioritize other areas. There are still other roads that is calling for attention where some of these funds can be make use of. I want to believe that when people are comfortable, suicide will not be an option for them to feel they want to go and jump into the lagoon. It's when a lot of them are, cannot cope with life and they resort to which we have been asking the government to critically look into. When life is meaningless, how many of our forefathers, came out with suicide mission when they live their life in affluence? They are comfortable. People come out of secondary school with his WAEC, he's being given a vehicle. While you have somebody who is a professor that cannot even afford to rent an apartment for himself. These are things I feel the government should prioritize. Not when people are living fine, I don't think anybody wants to go ahead and commit suicide. Make sure that the purchasing power is better and life is more comfortable and bearable for people. Then we can reduce the issue of people jumping into it, because the speed limiting device can do the same work that that of CCTV. When you limit the speed on that particular thing, you have tamed the level of accident that will happen on that particular place. And when you are able to make some people culpable, it will serve as deterrent to others that government is serious about it. But I have not heard, neither have I seen, where people who flout the law of 80 kilometers on that Third Mainland come out to say, in fact, I was debited. Just the same way we have in Lagos, that when you flout the traffic light, I'm sure by the time you want to go and renew your papers in Lagos, you would have met maybe one or two, 20,000, 40,000, 60,000. So it sends signal to people, it's a caution without anybody even chasing them, not to actually breathe those lights. But I feel that there are more other things that can be prioritized than just having CCTV on it. But if it has been approved, there's nothing we can do. We just have to wait and see. But we need other infrastructure to support it. That we must know very well. What is the state of our power infrastructure as we speak? Or we are still going to be buying so much of diesel to power the CCTV center that will definitely be built for it.
All right, then let's quickly talk about insecurity. Youths in Edo State had enough over the weekend where they protested against kidnapping in the Ekpoma area of the state, which unfortunately led to an attack on the palace of the Onoji of Ekpoma, Zaiki Anthony Abumere, by hoodlums who hijacked the protest. We are seeing an increase. In fact, I saw a video, a CCTV footage over the weekend where these people literally jumped out of the bush, entered into someone's compound, the man who just drove in, and then they kidnapped this man. Then they go ahead and ask for millions of naira, which ordinary Nigerians cannot raise. There are different fundraisers online right now. People saying, oh, my brother was kidnapped, my brother-in-law was kidnapped, one person has already been killed, please help us. So it's very terrible. When we come from the Anthony Joshua issue, we look at the fire at the Great Nigeria building, and then we look at the spate of insecurity. Emergency services is nowhere to be found. Then also security for the people also seems out of reach. So what exactly can we do, even as we go into the political season, whereby politics will dominate the discussions more, and the people who are supposed to be paying attention to Nigerian security will be more interested in talking politics? What can the people do?
Yeah, first advice to this is we can't do the same thing the same way. What is happening in Nepal? Do we have the CSO for that state? The answer is yes. You have the governor who has taken up the responsibility to protect lives and property of that particular state. But they will tell you that the policing of the state is in the hands of the federal. And the state governor does not have that, they cannot exercise so much authority, even on the CP that is there on certain things that you feel that they need to do. We need to redefine our security architecture, and that's why a lot of us is actually advocating that can we go the route of having, the local vigilante, the local government policing squad, then we come to the state level. At every level, everyone is responsible for providing security in the area. That on its own will give room for employment, but most of the time when some of these things are done, you ask yourself, is it based on merit? Is it based on passion? There are people that are committed to security activities, which if you give them the opportunity, they will do much more better. But most of the time, it's just someone who is not even intended. All they want is just to come and collect salary and take off some of these things. You see, as far as security is concerned, the government is not intentional about it. I will continue to say, I'm thinking that with Mr. President at the center, he would have given more to this regional policing, which was part of the thing he was advocating for while he was a governor in 1999-2000. But as we speak, we discovered that the security architecture is still concentrated on the center, and that is really not. You can imagine what is happening in Nepal. Maybe the people that are actually there do not even understand the language that they are saying. Domesticate some of these things. When somebody is planning ills, because the people perpetrating those ills are people that are within the system. They understand individuals that are in that area, get information. They give information about certain individual things that they need to do, and they will strike without anybody checking them. And you can imagine somebody is speaking his local dialect in Ebuma, and as a Yoruba person, how much of it we now even understand that is what they are planning to carry out, even when they are by your side. But when you domesticate it and you have people in that particular area who understand the language itself, so when somebody is even planning at the planning stage, you already feel it. We need not to be reactive to some of these issues, but be proactive. And those are the things that we feel to the nitty-gritty. There are states you will talk about the insecurity, but at the center, you discover that there are no much hustling that is going on there, but area that we have field governance at the suburbs, that's where some of these people perpetrate some of these things. But you can imagine if you have the different layers of security being addressed at every point in time, properly monitored, properly funded. When the area is secured, I can tell you that prosperity is inevitable. One will be able to move freely. Gone are those days people want to go out at night, but these days, even before the night comes, they want to retire back home, at least for security reasons. And you now have a lot of investment, because even when you're at home, you are not guaranteed that you are safe. And that's why I keep saying government need to be intentional about this issue of security, divert the power from the center to the states, to the local government, even to the traditional rulers. When everybody knows that security is their responsibility, when they feel if something is happening in your locality and you are not responsive to it, it won't be the problem of even the state governor, but your people in that vicinity take responsibility with whosoever is the leader, whether it's the local government chairman or even the traditional leader. And we can nip this issue of insecurity in the bud rather than waiting for instruction from the center on things that they need to do in a particular state.
Thank you so much, Sheson Okwade, for your analysis on the midday news today. I do appreciate you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much for having me, and I wish you the very best of the day and a fulfilling new year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have been watching the midday news on Voice of the People television. We'll take a short break, and when we return, Governor Oti dismisses opposition criticism. Stay with us for these and more stories right after the break.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying tuned. Abia State Governor Alex Oti has urged residents to ignore the opposition ahead of the 2027 general election, saying they had a chance to develop the state but failed. Speaking at the dedication of a Seventh-day Adventist church he recently rebuilt in Umuorehi, Umuahia North, Oti said the opposition's gatherings are for selfish interests and not for the good of the state. He assured that his administration will continue working to change the state's narrative and clarified that the church renovation was privately funded, not with government money, which he said is reserved for public projects. In Rivers State, Governor Siminalayi Fubara has called for calm following the House of Assembly's impeachment notices against him and his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu, over allegations of gross misconduct. Speaking at an interdenominational church service in Port Harcourt to mark Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day, Governor Fubara said he was undisturbed by the political dispute. He urged residents to remain calm, assuring that peace would return to the state. Still in the news, Saudi Airlines has faced criticism after leaving 401 Kano-bound passengers stranded at Abuja's Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport for nearly 48 hours, sparking tension and security concerns. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority said bad weather in Kano forced a diversion, but the airline failed to make adequate arrangements for the passengers' onward travel. In a statement on X, NCAA spokesperson Michael Achimugu described the ordeal as one of the most intense moments of his career. He recounted standing amid over 200 frustrated passengers, some threatening staff, before meeting with the Saudi ambassador to insist that airlines must comply with Nigerian regulations. Achimugu commended the Federal Airports Authority's regional management and confirmed that the passengers were eventually flown to Kano in 3 separate batches. In another development, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has ordered an immediate investigation into the alleged medical negligence at the private healthcare facility that led to the death of Nkano, the son of renowned author Chimamanda Adichie. In a statement, Special Advisor on Health, Dr. Kemi Ogunyemi, expressed condolences to the grieving family, calling the loss of a child a profound tragedy. The government said it has zero tolerance for medical negligence or unprofessional conduct and has already begun investigations after visiting the facility. We'll take another short break, coming right up. Business, sport, and entertainment stories just after this break. Stay with us.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is African News on Voice of the People Television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.
Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. We'll now take you straight into the world of business, where the Bola Tinubu administration is on track to spend over 91 trillion naira on debt servicing between 2023 and 2028. The rise in cost of borrowing comes amid weak revenue performance, growing fiscal deficit, and elevated interest rates. In 2023, the government budgeted 6.56 trillion naira for debt service, but spent 8.56 trillion naira. In 2024, the budgeted 8.27 trillion naira ballooned to 12.63 trillion naira. For 2025, 14.32 trillion naira has been budgeted, but actual debt payments in the first 7 months already reached 9.8 trillion naira, exceeding the pro-rated target of 8.35 trillion naira. If this trend continues, the government is likely to again surpass its full-year estimate. Still in business news, the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, has declared a second liquidation dividend of 24.3 billion naira for depositors of the defunct Heritage Bank, whose balances exceeded the insured limit of 5 million naira. The NDIC's head of Communications and Public Affairs, Hawwa Gambo, disclosed this in a statement. The payment follows the revocation of Heritage Bank's license by the Central Bank of Nigeria on June 3, 2024, after which the NDIC was appointed liquidator. With this payout, eligible uninsured depositors will receive 5.2 kobo per naira on their balances, bringing total liquidation dividends to 14.4 kobo per naira, including the first tranche. The corporation said insured deposits of up to 5 million naira had earlier been paid, ensuring prompt access to funds for small depositors. The NDIC added that recoveries from the bank's assets are ongoing and payments will be credited automatically to depositors' alternative accounts linked to their BVNs. From business to sports, the Super Eagles are set to fly from Faye to Rabat ahead of their 2025 Africa Cup of Nations semi-final against Morocco. The last four clash takes place Wednesday at Stade Moulay Hassan, Rabat. The team returned to Marrakesh on Sunday after their 2-0 quarter-final win over Algeria's Desert Foxes and held a recovery session at the Sardine Football Complex in Faye. In the meantime, the Confederation of African Football has launched a disciplinary probe following violent scenes after Nigeria's 2-0 victory over Algeria in the AFCON 2025 quarter-final in Marrakesh. Although the Super Eagles advanced to the semi-finals, the post-match scenes turned chaotic. Algerian players confronted referee Issa Sy and his assistant over disputed decisions surrounding them at full time before security stepped in. The tension later spread to the stands where angry Algerian fans reportedly attempted to breach barriers and vandalize parts of the stadium before order was restored. And finally, we bring you some entertainment news. Nigerian Afrobeat star Rema was the biggest winner at the 9th All-Africa Music Awards held Sunday night at the Eko Convention Center in Lagos. He won Artist of the Year, Best Male Artist in Western Africa, and Best African Artist in R&B and Soul. Burna Boy's No Sign of Weakness won Album of the Year. Charlie Puppy's Lahore emerged Song of the Year and also won Best African Collaboration, while Phyno clinched Best African Hip Hop Artist. Regional winners included Singular and Cindy Lecor for Central Africa, Jukes and Denise for Eastern Africa, Advisor of Mauritania and Egypt's Shireen for Northern Africa, Yo Maps and Nontokozo Nkizi for Southern Africa, and Rema and Ghana's Wendy Shea for Western Africa. In the continental categories, Milo and Morija of Côte d'Ivoire won Inspirational Music Awards. Guinea's Manamba Kante took African Pop. Benin Republic's Axel Merrill won African Contemporary. And Tim Paya of Côte d'Ivoire emerged Best Duo or Group. Yemi Alade won Best Soundtrack for You Are. Senegal's Bakal Diom was named Songwriter of the Year. South Africa's Caesar won Breakout Artist, while Nigeria's King Madi emerged Most Promising Artist. Elsewhere in entertainment, Timothy Chalamet was among the big winners as Hollywood's finest gathered for this year's Golden Globe Awards at the Beverly Hilton in California. The American-French actor beat Leonardo DiCaprio and George Clooney to win Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy for Marty Supreme. Despite DiCaprio missing out, his film, one battle after another, dominated the night, winning 4 awards, including Best Musical or Comedy Film and Best Director. Irish actress Jessie Buckley won Best Drama Actress for Hamnet, which also claimed a surprise win for Best Drama Film. Vampire thriller Sinners, tipped as a frontrunner, instead took home the Box Office Achievement Award and Best Score. Other acting winners on the night included Tiana Taylor, Rose Byrne, Wagner Moura, and Stellan Skarsgård. The Globes also honored television with British actors Stephen Graham, Owen Cooper, and Erin Doherty winning awards for their roles in Netflix drama Adolescence. And that's it on the Midday News. Before we go, a quick look at the headlines. CDS vows to protect democracy and security. Army rescues 18 from pirates off Cameroon coast. In Edo, Governor Pebolo condemns a palace attack during protest against kidnapping. Federal government commissions 40 billion naira CCTV hub for third mainland bridge. Atiku demands critics released. Fayose warns ADC risks relevance without Obi. In business, President Tinubu's debt service set to hit 91 trillion naira by 2028. In sports, Super Eagles fly to Rabat for Morocco clash. And in the world of entertainment, Rema bags biggest wins at Afrima 2026. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel on YouTube, where Voice of the People TV, and on other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. If you witness news happening near you, We want to hear from you. Send your eyewitness reports, event coverage requests, photos or videos directly via WhatsApp to 0814 606 4057. You can also reach our newsroom by email at news@vop.ng. I am Chioma Innocent. Good afternoon and thank you for watching.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I. From social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is African News on Voice of the People Television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.
Good evening, Africa. My name is Bamakore, actor, model, producer, and I'm giving a big shout out to VOP TV, man. Keep watching. Don't change the dial. Thank you and God bless you.
My name is AY, and of course, I represent the voice of the people, and that's why I'm on VOP. AY say so.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Miriam Tima from the Real Housewives of Lagos and the Real Housewives Ultimate Girl Trip Africa. Shout out to VOP, the voice of the people. You already know. Stay tuned, keep watching. And don't forget, VOP is the best.
All right, hello, everybody. It's a brother Shaggy, the man fine back with Melanie Poppy Black Skin Boy. This is VOP TV. If you're not watching VOP, I don't know why you're watching. Maybe you're watching your weight.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Wale Ojo, and you're watching VOP, Voice of the People.
Hi, guys. You already know who it is. This is New Energy. Flyers, whatever, live it. Keep watching VOP TV. Thank you.
Hi, people. Jenny Albano here. Guys, please keep watching Voice of the People.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe. Hunger no get religion.
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react. Understand.
2564 is coming up on Bunny 9 right.
The 2564 Atlantic Tower.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People television, where your health has a voice.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
My name is Michel Dele. I'm the Consul General of the Netherlands in Lagos. Keep watching VOP, Voice of the People TV.
I'm Sarah Nystrom from Sweden, aka Chief Omobowale, Communication Queen. Keep watching VOP TV.
Hi, I'm Samantha Jacobs, representing the States. Miami's in the house. And I want to make a shout out to VOP TV. I'm a humanitarian, and I'm also a rep in the film industry and the art industry. I help dreams come true, and I help you keep on that path. Shout out to VOP TV because you're helping people stay on their path too. Cheers.
All right, my name is John Odibo. Keep watching Voice of the People because it's a fantastic station to be with all the time. Thank you very much.
My name is Pastor Elvis Siro, the convener of the Voice Achievers Award, and keep watching VOP. Yes, that is the channel for all the people. No color, no race. Thank you so much.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, this is Abasunkan from the Netherlands. I am a designer and I'm here in Eco Hotel and Suits. Keep watching VOP, the voice of the people. Don't touch that dial.
My name is Dr. Tony Bello. I am the chairman of Shine Bridge Global Incorporated. And guess what? You are watching the Voice of the People television.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what